Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be starting up with the Alteration 40 Gundam Kimaris here. So this is pretty much what we're looking at. So we get the full suit, so not looking too bad, obviously. So this is like, was this like the very first unit Galileo piloted for the Gundam, right? I believe so. And after that, he went to the Kimaris Trooper, which we never got in the game. So still waiting on that one. But other than that, we have 6 parts in total. So these are the following stat with everything equipped. 6-star with purple and gold marks. So if I remove this, I just want to see where we kind of fall under as far as stat. So not looking too bad at the moment. So I can just kind of see that shot. I think this is actually more geared towards like an actual shooting base for the attacks, but the stat itself or even the portrait wise does not really suggest that. So that's kind of weird. We do have 4 EXPs in total. The one that just removed was the lance. So let me just quickly equip that, which is going to be this one. So we have 4 EXQs in total. The first one being the Flashy Bang. So that EXQ in particular is definitely going to be more of like a disturbing type, just stunning your opponent. So we'll definitely try those out. So I think the overall premise of the EXQ I'm using is going to be these 3 first. And then the Demolishing Fall, that one is going to be on a solo run in the friend battle, because we want to test out what is the peak power, because I personally use that one and I want to find out how hard it hits. So without any further ado, let's hop into the alteration review of this guy, because it's gonna take a minute, just trying to go through every part, so try not to waste any time. So head part, okay, so we are looking fairly nice, 10k raw, so that's pretty good. It's just that one thing I noticed from this overall unit is they actually do have a pretty decently good resistance, so that's going to be a concern as far as how you want to build around this one, because you guys can see that the defensive side is not nearly as high as I want it to be. So in terms of the conversion gear, like you have the resistant one, you have the melee conversion gear, you have the shot based conversion gear, so it's going to be really hard to kind of play around with that. So it's not bad. I guess 10k, melee attack is 4k, but this one being a more range build tag is kind of concerning at that. So I don't know, it's probably not something I'll invest into. I think eventually, since we have gotten quite a lot of those standard parts, I think I'll actually make like a separate video doing 4 different segment of like what is a good standard unit, because I don't want to do warfare, like, because there are going to be people that are going to be missing all of them, and I don't want to be that guy that says if you miss them, you miss them, at least standard you do have a chance of getting it, so that's what I'll plan to do. So I'm going to do one for melee base, shooting base, and like power type build, like just strictly power boosting stuff if possible, and then the other one is going to be melee cooldown EXQ cooldown reduction build, and then obviously the range variant. So that is definitely something you guys can kind of look forward to for the year 2023, because obviously with every new year we have new stuff and etc, and just trying to see how far we can kind of push it. So those are definitely going to be something that I'll keep in the back of my mind as far as what I'll do. But continue back into the review. So this one is actually a very godly part as far as portrait wise. You have a standardized attack HP EXQ cooldown reduced by 20%. So this one was really good, but on top of that, they added now when you have heavy armor activated, enemy EXQ plus 40%. So this one probably is not one of the better part of this overall set. So if you guys have kept this one, definitely do go for it, Alterate, because it's actually really good. Stat wise on this one, like I said again, it's gonna be really wonky because resistance is nearly the same as the defensive stats. So but overall base stat, I think it's doing justice, I would say. Moving over to the arm side, we have the EXQ, we have the slash disc. So this one is looking, so this one, if you do want to properly use it, I feel like the alteration is definitely a must, because yeah, the power, so as expected. So this one is its usability is gonna come greatly after alteration. So we'll definitely see how this one looks like, because I have never tried out, to be honest with you guys. So stat was on this one, yeah, 10k. All right, just not much of a defensive, so that kind of hurts for sure. Tag wise is pretty much going to be the same. All right, so down to the legs now. So pretty much the same thing. So melee stat is higher, but the tags are more, geared towards the range type side. Okay, so they are. So stat wise, they're going for melee, but tag wise, they're going for range. So you can kind of draw like a good balance right there, right? But obviously, with percentage goes, they go way higher than your flat stats, unfortunately. But this one we have the combat knife. So all right, so we'll definitely try that out. And then we have the back part. I think back part is kind of arguably one of another good back part to have, I think, because this one you have double melee power boosted, and one other thing is squat. Wow, that is really valued. But the downside is you are having to use physical. For the first one, you do have to use a lance category as the equip, so that's like the condition. But I don't think they're that bad, especially looking at a standard selection. Like, it's actually really good, especially this one, getting some squat support for your melee build. So we'll definitely take that. Anything helps, And then down to this one, we have the blade or the lance, 11.1. So I think that's pretty much the ballpark of where we see melee weapon nowadays, around the area, like just a little bit more than 11,000, and that's where they pretty much lands. This one, okay, so it doesn't really give you attack up, unfortunately, but it does give you now 58% health recovery and then 49% physical resistance. So let me take a look at how it was back then. So back then, max out at 48 and then 49. So this one did not change, right? While after alteration, now where were we? I know it's like higher for the So I would have wished that they would include like an attack up. That would be good, but it is what it is. So I think the overall things that I'll pretty much alterate on spot is definitely these two. These two may not be the biggest concern, depending on the stat, how they land and stuff. I'm not gonna do like a separate Excel sheet for these specifically, just because they are gonna come in needs of like however your build kind of goes. So it's gonna be pointless if your build does not fall between these four melee build. It's just there's no point, right? So these are definitely going to be something that is, as you progress the game, you feel like you feel like it's going to make your build better, go for them. If not, skip, wait for something else. So I definitely skip these one. The overall stat distribution is kind of hard to work with, but these two are definitely god. They are good. So I'm going to alterate every part, and then we'll see the final stats, and then we'll hop into doing some EQ skill showcase of them. And there you have it. So these are going to be the following stats after alteration. And if I remove this once again, we can see that it is actually neck and neck. So you don't really see a whole lot of discrepancy as far as that goes. And if we do apply, let's say, the following two word tags, that being heavy armor and then for space, we should be, still seeing the nearly the same amount of stats, I would have to say. And you guys can see that the defensive and then the resistant are actually quite similar. So if we do quickly do, some applying for these conversion gear, you guys can see that using this one actually lands you a better outcome for both your offensive stats. So while defensive, while using, let's say, the range version, the melee version may not be the best outcome, just because of how the resistance is built compared to the defensive. So that is just a quick thing I want to show you guys. But obviously this is talking about a full set build, so if you guys are doing some mixing match, you guys definitely have to focus on some of your other part having higher or nearly the same physical resistance or beam resistant to kind of have the same effects. But overall, I think generally speaking, using the melee version or the shot version for your respective build is probably the way to go. So I'm going to be hopping into this week's crew multi-mission. So 3 enemies. I'm just going to keep one where I can use, let's say, the flash, the flash bang. So okay, so nothing too special. I would just want to see how far I can get. Oh, it's literally like that. Hold on, let me Let me cook the enemy. Well, he's done now, so let's see. Okay. So there's no damage, so you can... Like, how many enemy can we actually get? Or what's their range, actually? Okay, so the range is not really that great. This one is. Yeah, so I'm right here, so we don't really see... We only see the dots, so is it gonna reach? Okay, so it does have the possibility of stunning 4 targets, right? But the range on this is actually pretty bad. Like, this one is good. Oh yeah, that one's good, but the range in this one, it's cool though. It's definitely really cool, but man, the range on this one, you gotta be like, probably right here. So you guys can definitely do the countdown of like how many seconds we were able to stun for. I don't think it's that much. So I kind of started at, 3:36. So let's see how far that goes. So, okay, it's roughly about 7 seconds-ish, so it's not too bad. But the slash this is actually, I guess, it's fun. So we'll definitely take that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. This one, yeah, this one may not be that good. It gotta be like really close. You gotta be up close and personal before you can kind of get those swings going on. But okay, all right. So let's kind of try this again. We do have a few more enemies now, but it's not. All right, so it does multiple targeting, but it's not that scary. Like, come on. Give us the bone. Like, you gotta make that like where it kind of tracks the enemy. That'll be good, but it's just not. So this EXQ is fun. I like this one, but the other one are just kind of like, ugh. It's like, come on, man. It could be better. Yep, this is fun. Just doing this. It's like I'm playing frisbee, essentially. All right, get them out of the way. And trying to stun you, not really, because we were not in effective range. So unfortunately, you gotta be like this. Come on, man, that sucks. Wow, it's cool. Visually, it's cool, but effectiveness 0, pretty much 0, or one out of 4. I'll give 1 credit, just 1 out of 4. It's not really that great, but I think you guys do get the overall idea. So like we can just kind of cut this right now. So I think I am gonna hop into a quick friend battle to try out the demolishing fall with the lance category EXQ. So that should be fun. So I'm just gonna let myself be KO'd here, and then we can hop over to that friend battle. Alright, so friend battle time. So just gonna do the per usual, activate the lumber break, and then we are gonna let the custom EXQ go. Okay, so only that much, huh? So in total, we were just dashing out 11 million in combined. So I don't know. I was honestly expecting more. I know it's not providing me the buffs that's needed. And then this is the build. This was the build I did. There should be something that's not really gonna be popping up or activating. Obviously we did have buffs, so like, what is it? These popped up, these pop up, but they were not in a way helping me to get some actual damage up, because it's gonna be boosting my physical resistance. So that's that. I mean, like, it's still not bad for defensive plays. This playstyle is definitely really fun. I have this on one of my tank build skins, so definitely gonna enjoy just having that help recovery and etc. But do let me know how you guys feel about the alteration for the Gundam Kimaris. Do you guys like it? I think I like it because of the torso piece, and in the back part, definitely gonna be providing a lot of, people that are not able to access those limited parts, some good variety of things to do with them. So I'm kind of glad that we got them. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next video.